Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am very honored to have been invited by the organizer of this meeting for delivering this oral presentation, and I thank them very much. As the title of my presentation indicates you, I will analyze the important role of domestic herbivore played during long time in the past and should play again in the future for improving and maintaining the fertility of soil in arable cropping system. In the first part, I will analyze where does soil fertility to support agricultural production come from. Then I will develop an historical analysis of the role of domestic herbivores in renewing soil fertility in agricultural system from the Neolithic period until the modern agriculture system. We will then analyze the current crisis in industrialized agriculture and the need for recoupling between livestock and crop production. And we will conclude with the lesson learned and future efforts. On a worldwide scale, agriculture must reconcile two apparent opposite issues. First, to produce enough food for a burgeoning human population, and second, to reduce drastically its negative impact on environment. Such a trade-off between two apparent contradictory objectives requires not only the redesign of agricultural production system, but also of the whole food supply and demand chain. To face this challenge, two important questions emerge about the importance of domestic herbivores should have within agro-system, according to the two main questions. First, a reduction of the animal-based product in human diet, and a reduction of methane emission by ruminants. But to answer this question, it is necessary to take into account the highly positive effect domestic herbivore livestock should play in recycling nutrients and maintaining soil fertility with a high reduction in greenhouse gas emission associated with the use of industrial fertilizer. Objectives of this presentation are the following. First, to analyze the ecological role of herbivore livestock from an historical perspective and for future agro-systems. To assess their contribution not only for feeding human population, but also for fostering agro-system resilience, and to achieve a better coupling of the carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, micro and oligo element cycles, the renewal and enhancement of soil fertility while minimizing the use of external fertilizer. For that, it is necessary to study the continuum between plants, soil, herbivores, agriculture system, and diet, human diet, to account for the multiple trade-offs among these different aspects. It was also necessary to counter the relatively hasty analysis that herbivores have to be excluded from agriculture because ruminants emit methane. Biogenic methane has to be considered as a counterpart of all the other ecosystem services provided by integrating domestic herbivore livestock and the associated grassland and forage production within sustainable agro-system. How soil fertility has been elaborated and cumulated over long geological period. In a natural ecosystem, either in forestry or lignified or herbaceous vegetation, mineral nutrients available for plants, phosphorus, potassium, all the macro, micro, or oligo elements are provided by the very slow soil weathering bedrock process. And they are stored in soil through more or less important linkage with soil colloids as a reservoir for plants. Nitrogen doesn't come from this soil weathering and from bedrock, but come from atmospheric symbiotic fixation, either by symbiotic fixation or non-symbiotic fixation, and to a lesser extent from atmospheric deposition. There is an internal recycling of nutrients in plants during leaf senescence. About 80% of these minerals, of these nutrients, are recycled within plants as reserve for a new regrowth period, while only about 20% of these nutrients return to soil via leaf and root litter deposition. These 20% of nutrients are then involved in the fresh organic matter input in soil and are recycled through an external recycling, through microbial mineralization, immobilization, turnover, and are transformed in available form for being reused concurrently by plant and by microbial community of the soil for their own development. So this recycling system is very efficient because available forms of N, of nitrogen, as nitrate and ammonium, cannot accumulate too high in the soil solution because of the high competition between plant and microbes for their reabsorption. Then losses of the more mobile form, such as nitrate and ammonium, to atmosphere and hydrosphere, were very low, leading to a relatively high conservative soil fertility in a long-term run. Soil microbes play a fundamental role in this conservative nutrient cycle through the mineralization, immobilization, turnover. As plants are coupling nitrogen, phosphorus, and other elements with carbon through the autotrophy to produce fresh organic matter, microbes are decoupling this element from C for producing available nutrient and ammonium, nitrate, sulfate, phosphate, etc. for plant nutrition. But they are also using this available form for their own population and community development. So soil microbes are both providing available nutrients for plants and competing with plants for their use. So plants and microbes are competing each other for these nutrient resources, and it is the reason why this available form cannot accumulate in large quantity in soil when vegetation is active, and that the risk for losses in the environment are relatively low. What happens when herbivores consume a part of the vegetation? Herbage consumption by herbivore reduces the internal cycling of nutrients in plant, and the rumen fermentation decouples and recouples, N, P, and C from C, and recouples C, N, and P. Then feces and urine deposition recycling CNP with stoichiometric proportion very favorable for stimulating microbial mineralization, immobilization, turnover in soil. So animal can be viewed as a catalyzing effect on the recycling of the microbial mineralization, immobilization, turnover. It has been well demonstrated that exclusion of great herbivores from areas in African savanna ecosystem had a negative effect on capacity of soil to provide nutrients for vegetation. Microbial communities in rumen and microbial communities in soil are constituted by similar population with a very common genetic background and are considered as being in close interdependency for accelerating nutrient cycling within ecosystem. In this view, the methane emission due to the digestion of the cellulose must be considered as the price to pay to benefit of the high efficient nutrient cycling, and then cannot be considered as only a negative output. What happens with cultivation? When cover crop vegetation is suppressed by soil cultivation, the disruption of carbon flow for plant reduces and immobilization by microbes in arable cropping system. Mineral N forms accumulate in soil when plant absorption is low, and particularly in bare soil period, leading then to high risk of losses in atmosphere and hydrosphere. Now, we would like to show you how soil fertility has been improved and maintained from the beginning of agriculture in Neolithic period until the modern era. Except for the Nile and Euphrates Valley, where soil fertility was renewed each year by loam deposition during flooding periods, agriculture expanded in most of the other regions in the world by the slash and burn method, destroying the natural vegetation for cultivating during a short period of time. Soil fertility rapidly decreased after 1 or 3 years. That implied the clearing of a new area of natural vegetation and a relatively long fallow period, several decades, that enable a slow regeneration of natural vegetation and soil fertility restoration. Such a semi-nomadic system did not allow the food production for a large human population, and it was progressively replaced by a more efficient one, even if the system continued to be used until now in some part of the globe. In Mediterranean and European region, and more particularly within the Roman Empire, a more structured system based on 3 embedded ecosystems has been developed. The Ager is a cultivated area with a fallow cereal crop rotation. The Saltus, where the domestic herbivore grazing area, and it was a common pasture area, and the Silva, the forest area. Livestock were grazing Saltus and a part of Silva during the day and were parked night on the fallow area. That allowed transfer of nutrients, or a partial transfer of nutrients from Saltus and Silva into the Ager area, increasing then progressively the fertility of soil of this area. This system allowed feeding about 15 to 40 inhabitants per square kilometer, according to the different regions and according to climate and soil condition. Later, in the Middle Age, near the year 1000, the system evolved under the demographic pressure. Forage harvest technology and storage technology, and the technology progress in plowing allow both adoption of a triennial rotation with 2 cereal and 1 year of fallow, and an increase in stocking density by feeding animals in barns during winter, that increased the volume of manure and the flow of nutrients transferred to area. This higher soil fertility allowed the use of a triennial rotation that contributed to increase food production. Such a system allowed food production for population density between 50 to 80 habitants per square kilometer. The first revolution in Europe, the first agricultural revolution in Europe in 16th, 17th century, with the generalization of the Norfolk rotation, was based on the suppression of the fallow period and the introduction of artificial meadow with legume species within a quadrennial rotation. Saltus area were progressively incorporated to AGER, moving from a common to a private status, and then become part of individual farms. The higher contribution of N2 fixation by legumes allowed an increase in cereal yield from 1 ton per hectare to about 2 tons that allowed the feeding of an increasing urban population. The productivity of this system was then limited by P and K deficiencies in soil and by other limiting factors, such as low pH or excess of water, etc. The second agricultural revolution after the Second World War, with the development of mechanization and the suppression of animal power, and the industrial production of fertilizer, and the meaning of P and K, resulted in the progressive abandon of herbivores for maintaining soil fertility. This rapid evolution had important consequences: the decoupling of livestock from crops, at least at farm level and also at landscape level. The nutrients were not fluxing in circularity, and soil fertility was controlled by fertilizer industry. The consequence of this excessive simplification of arable cropping system, leading sometime in some places to pure monoculture. The consequences are long period of bare soil with high risk for erosion and nitrate leaching, a decline in soil organic matter and soil quality degradation, and an increase in weeds, fungi, and insect invasion. And the only way to control this problem was the high pesticide use. Agriculture at world level must face the contradiction between increasing food production and highly reducing environmental impact. These environmental impacts are more the consequence of the simplification and homogeneity of the land use system than of the too high productivity level. Spatial separation of livestock production system from arable cropping system is at the origin of this simplification and homogenization of food production system. Then recoupling livestock with cropping system should allow the increase of local diversification necessary to resolve negative environmental impact. In this view, there is a balance between the methane emission by livestock and their high contribution to reduce drastically the greenhouse gas emission associated with the use of industrial fertilizers. The recoupling between livestock and cropping system must be realized not only at individual farm level, but also, and more importantly, beyond the farm gate at landscape level through exchanges and interaction among different specialized farms. The stocking density at local scale must remain under a threshold level if we want that the greenhouse gas balance would remain positive at landscape scale. So it is important to avoid high spot of intensive livestock production in some region and high spot of cereal cropping without livestock in other regions. The importance of legume species. The contribution of nitrogen fixation within this integrated crop livestock system is an important factor for the system's sustainability. So, legume species must be incorporated either within arable cropping system for grain protein production and within grassland and forage system. In addition, forage crops contribute to the diversification of rotation that allow a better control of weeds and disease, and then a reduction of pesticide use, and also an enhancement in biodiversity at landscape level. Gilles Bienne and his colleagues have simulated the food production and food consumption of the Paris region in France at the scale of the watershed of the River Seine, with two objectives: reducing greenhouse gas emission and the inflow in hydrosystem for an attenuation of the river and coastal eutrophisation. Simulations have been made on three scenarios. First, the current situation. Second, a vision of integrated crop livestock system at the scale of the region. And third, this crop livestock system associated with a reduction of 30% of animal-sourced product in the diet. From the current to the integrated crop livestock situation, we observe an increase, a large increase in livestock from 18 to 48 live units per square kilometer, and associated with a large reduction, important reduction in nitrogen emission into hydrosphere from 33 milligram nitrogen per liter to 23 milligram nitrogen per liter. When a more vegetarian diet is applied, a more important reduction of N emission can be achieved. This result is obtained mainly by the reduction in monogastric livestock production and not by reduction in herbivore livestock, whose role for N transfer is very crucial. This purely biogeochemical approach does not take into account several limitations. First, the reluctance of farmers to change their practice according to their economics and social constraints, the resistance of consumers to change their eating habit according to cultural and commercial advertising influence, a more global socio-political approach is necessary for promoting this integrated crop livestock at large scale enough for a more sustainable agriculture and food production. Domestic herbivores have to be considered as a source of solution and not excluded as a source of problems. Conclusion. To conclude this presentation, first, sustainable food production requires a high renewal flux of nutrients in soil to compensate for their exportation. To maintain soil fertility, intensive agriculture production systems have relied on the massive use of external fertilizers that inevitably leads to unwarrantable environmental emissions, greenhouse gas emission, and inflow in hydroscope. Therefore, herbivore livestock production must be reintegrated locally with arable cropping to provide a more sustainable agro-ecosystem. The threshold livestock stocking capacity must be determined according to local conditions, soil, climate, and types of arable cropping system, which require ad hoc experimental and modeling studies. Moreover, at a global level, it is necessary to promote a decrease of the proportion of animal-based food consumption in diet in some rich regions of the world, Europe and North America, associated with an increase in regions where populations are affected by malnutrition. Nevertheless, the integrated livestock with arable crop system, although very necessary from an ecological and environmental point of view, can be not fully compatible with socio-economics and political constraints that favor a high specialization of food production and distribution system, in addition to activism against animal production. Thus, without a clear identification of this looking and of the alternative socio-economic system that will have to be promoted, this necessity for integrated herbivore cropping system will remain only a sincere hope. Muchas gracias.